Welcome to Work Fluent.
Come on in, get comfortable. This one's for you.
Welcome back, English learners,
And you're listening to Work Fluent,
where we teach basic to advanced business English.
one real workplace moment at a time.
Today, the problem with feedback that sounds nice and doesn't actually help anyone.
And the problem right behind it? Sitting there confused because nobody told you what was actually wrong.
Both are really the same root problem, feedback too soft to actually use.
Which is exactly what we're fixing today, with 5 real sentences.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Sarah.
Here's the first phrase before we even get into today's story.
Can I say something specific? 5 words. That's the whole door opener.
5 words, and it's suddenly not vague anymore.
You've got that one already. The real story's coming next.
By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with 5 real phrases you can use starting tomorrow, a full word tour of everything we cover so it actually sticks, and one piece of homework to practice today's topic.
Not vague advice. Actual sentences you can say out loud today.
5 sentences most people already have the words for. They just haven't put them in this order.
That's such a good way to put it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's what actually happened.
Let's hear it.
A coworker of mine, named Maya, one of our newer hires, sent me her deck to review.
And?
I told her it was a great start.
Was it?
Not even close.
Why great start instead of just telling her what was wrong?
Because she's new, and I didn't want the first real feedback she gets from me to sound like an attack.
That's fair, though. Nobody wants to be the person who crushes a new hire's confidence in week 2.
Right, so my brain did this thing.
What thing?
It took "this chart is confusing" and quietly rewrote it into "great start," somewhere between my brain and my mouth.
A translation nobody asked for.
Honestly, some part of me thought, she's new. Maybe this isn't my place.
Is that ever really true, though?
Almost never. If you're the one reviewing the work, it's already your place.
So not my place is really just I don't want to.
Exactly. And the thing is, great start isn't a lie.
No?
It's just a receipt with nothing itemized on it. She knows something was bought. She has no idea what.
I like that. You paid for something, but the receipt's blank.
And Maya, reasonably, read "great" as "done." Why would she touch a slide I just called "great"?
So what should the sentence have actually been?
Something like, "Can I say something specific? The client chart on slide 4 confused me. The numbers don't match the labels above them."
That's so different from great start.
Because it's anchored to one real thing. Not her, not her effort.
Just the chart.
One chart, one problem. When the labels didn't match the numbers, I got confused. A sentence about a slide, not a verdict on her.
What was actually wrong with the chart, anyway?
The revenue numbers were right, but 2 labels were swapped. Q2 read as Q3, and nobody would have caught it just skimming.
That's not a small thing to miss in front of a client.
Exactly why "great start" was such a strange thing to say about it.
That's a real skill, honestly. Most people go straight to you the second they're being critical.
And "you" is where it turns personal, even by accident. "You made this confusing" lands completely differently than "this part confused me."
Here's my honest worry with that, though. Does saying something that specific just feel harsh dressed up in nicer words?
No, actually, I think that's the whole point people miss.
Which is?
Being specific isn't a scalpel, it's more like a flashlight.
A flashlight.
You're not cutting into her work. You're just pointing at exactly where to look.
A flashlight doesn't hurt anything. It just shows you the spot.
Right. Vague feedback feels safer in the moment.
But
But it doesn't protect anyone. It just delays the real problem to a worse moment. Which, spoiler, is exactly what happened here.
I actually had the opposite version of this once. My old manager once said, "This whole report is wrong, redo it."
That's brutal. What did you even do with that?
Nothing, because I had no idea which part. I redid 3 sections before I found the actual mistake. One number in one table.
Did you ever find out which number was wrong?
Eventually. One formula, one cell, copied down wrong. 10 seconds to fix, once someone actually pointed at it.
10 seconds. After 3 redone sections.
10 seconds was genuinely all it needed. The other 4 hours were just guessing.
So harsh and vague at the same time. Somehow the worst combination.
Exactly. Everyone assumes the fix for too nice is be harsher. It's not. The fix for both is the same thing, be specific.
That's such a good point.
Which part?
My manager wasn't being mean by staying vague, and I wasn't being kind by staying vague either.
You were both just avoiding it.
Avoiding saying the actual thing, yeah.
Why do we even do this, though? Go vague exactly when it matters most to be clear.
Because clear feels risky right then, and vague feels safe. Even though vague is what actually costs you later,
So it's not really about being kind.
it's about avoiding 30 awkward seconds. That's the honest version.
Okay, so back to Maya. Specific chart, specific problem. What comes after you name it?
You tell them what would actually help, without ordering them around. What would help me is if the labels matched the axis before Thursday.
What would help me is... That's such a soft landing for a direct request.
It keeps the fix concrete without making it sound like a command. It's not, fix this. It's, here's what moving forward looks like.
Does that ever come across as weak, though? Like you're asking a favor instead of doing your job?
No, because you already named the problem first, right?
Right.
That's what makes it read as confident, I think.
Even alone?
Say, what would help me is on its own. Sure, maybe that sounds unsure.
But
Paired with something specific, it just reads like someone who knows exactly what they want fixed.
so the two together do the work neither one does alone.
Exactly. Specific problem, then a specific ask. Neither one is the nice version or the harsh version. It's just the accurate version.
What if she'd gotten defensive, though? Not everyone hears the chart's confusing calmly.
That happened once, actually, with someone else on the team. He went quiet, then said, "So you're saying I got it wrong?"
What did you say back?
That's not what I meant. Let me say it differently. Then I said it again, slower, sticking to the one chart.
That repair line is doing a lot there.
It has to exist, because a defensive reaction isn't a wall going up forever.
What is it then?
More of a flinch. It usually passes in a few seconds if you don't push through it with more explaining.
So you just pause and re-say it instead of defending the original sentence.
Right. You're not backing down from the feedback. You're just proving the goal was never to make him feel bad about it.
I think that's the part I'd get wrong. I'd probably just apologize 5 times and never actually repeat the feedback.
That's so common, though. Over-apologizing feels like kindness, but it just buries the point again, the same way great start did.
So the fix is really the same fix every time. Say the specific thing. Don't take it back. Don't bury it in sorry.
Every time.
And how do you actually end one of these conversations? Because it always feels like it just kind of trails off.
Does that make sense? Every time.
Why that one?
It's short. It's not a lecture. It hands the conversation back to them instead of you just walking away assuming they got it.
4 words, and the whole thing closes properly instead of hanging there.
And half the time, they'll ask one real question right there. So much better than nodding along, confused, for another 3 days.
What if you don't actually know what's specifically wrong? You just feel like something's off?
Then you're not ready to give feedback yet. You're ready to go figure out what's actually wrong first.
So, something feels off isn't a sentence you say out loud.
Not yet. Go find the one specific thing first, then come back and say it.
Can I tell you the best feedback I ever got? Complete opposite of my manager's story.
Please.
My first mentor here, I sent her a client email once.
And?
She said, "Can I say something specific?" The second paragraph buries the ask. Move it to the first line.
That's specific.
And cut the last sentence. It undercuts your own request.
That's incredibly precise.
It was 3 sentences.
That's it?
She wasn't unkind about it, but she also wasn't vague for 1 second.
And?
I fixed it in 2 minutes, and the client replied the same day.
Did it sting at all?
For about 4 seconds.
Then?
Then it just felt useful.
That's the difference?
That's the difference. Vague feedback stings for days because you can't do anything with it.
And specific?
Specific feedback stings for 4 seconds, and then you're just better.
Stings for 4 seconds and then you're better. That might be the whole episode in one sentence.
Let's turn this on you for a second.
Go on.
Think of the last time you gave feedback and softened it into something almost meaningless.
And?
What was the real sentence underneath the nice one you actually said?
And the harder question, why did you soften it? Were you protecting them or were you actually protecting yourself from an awkward 30 seconds?
Here's one to sit with.
Go on.
Out of today's 5 phrases, which one do you genuinely never say out loud at work?
The honest answer, not the easy one.
Not the one you like the sound of, the one you'd actually have to force yourself to use.
If you've been on the receiving end of a great start that wasn't,
Here's the question.
did you find out the real problem eventually? Or did it just quietly cost you later, the way it did for Maya?
And for anyone managing someone newer than them, does specific feedback feel riskier than vague feedback?
Be honest with yourself on that one.
A lot of people avoid it because it feels like it could go wrong.
But
Staying vague is what actually goes wrong. Just later, and worse.
last one. Next time someone gets a little defensive after you say something true,
Do you explain your way through it, or actually pause and repeat it slower?
notice which one you reach for first. That's usually the honest answer.
One more, actually. Think about the 4-second sting versus the multi-day sting. Which one are you choosing for people most weeks?
That's such a good gut check question to end on.
Think about the last time you got a great start that wasn't.
And
Did you ever find out what was actually wrong, or are you still wondering?
this one's uncomfortable.
Go ahead.
Is there someone right now whose work you've been quietly calling fine instead of telling them the one specific thing you'd actually change?
Let's go through everything today so it actually sticks. First phrase. Can I say something specific? Sarah, take this one.
It's the door opener.
Meaning?
5 words that signal real feedback is coming, so the other person isn't caught off guard by a vague compliment turning into something else.
What's actually wrong with a plain compliment like, "Great job, though"?
It's a receipt with nothing itemized on it. Something was clearly bought. You just have no idea what.
Basically a compliment sandwich that's all bread and no filling.
All bread, and can I say something specific is what finally puts something inside it.
So it's basically a heads up.
It's not really permission if you think about it.
What is it then?
More of a warning. Gives them 1 second to actually get ready to listen instead of getting blindsided.
You could use it with anyone, a coworker, a vendor, even a friend. Can I say something specific about the plan?
Repeat it with me. Can I say something specific?
Can I say something specific? Next. When X happened, Y was the result. Sarah,
It's anchoring feedback to one real specific thing, a chart, a line, a moment,
Instead of?
instead of a judgment about the person. When the labels didn't match the numbers, I got confused. Not, you made this confusing.
That's the flashlight, not the scalpel.
Repeat it with me. Flashlight, not a scalpel.
I could see someone taking that personally, though.
Only if you make it about her. Keep it about the chart, and it just reads as someone who actually paid attention.
Flashlight, not a scalpel. Next. What would help me is? That was yours too, Sarah.
It turns the fix into a clear next step instead of a vague complaint. Paired with something specific, it reads as confident, not soft.
What would help me is if the labels match the axis before Thursday.
Repeat it. What would help me is.
What would help me is. Next. That's not what I meant. Let me say it differently. Sarah, this is the repair line.
It's for the moment someone gets defensive.
What's it actually doing there?
You're not taking the feedback back. You're just proving the goal was never to hurt them. Then you say it again, slower.
A defensive reaction is a flinch, not a wall.
Repeat it with me. A flinch, not a wall.
That almost sounds like you're taking it back, though.
No, you're not changing what's true. You're just changing how it lands. That's not weakness. That's just good aim.
A flinch, not a wall. Last one. Does that make sense? Sarah, take us out on this.
It closes the conversation properly and hands it back to them instead of you walking away just assuming they understood.
4 words, and nothing gets left hanging for 3 days this time.
Repeat it with me. Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? 5 phrases, 1 deck, and you can use every one of them the next time you're softening something you shouldn't.
Your homework this week, take one piece of feedback you've been sitting on.
Just one?
Just one. Say the real sentence instead of the nice one. Use, can I say something specific, to open it.
Not the whole list at once. 1 real sentence, out loud, this week.
And if you're nervous about it, say the sentence alone first, to your phone, your mirror, whatever.
Out loud. Not just in your head. It's a completely different feeling once it's actually left your mouth and hit the air in the room.
This also works as real listening practice.
How so?
Play this episode again before that conversation and let the phrases sit in your ear before you actually need them live.
Now, Maya's deck, 3 days later, in front of the client.
The client got to slide 4 and asked exactly what I never told Maya to fix. Wait, what's this chart actually showing?
And Maya had no answer because nobody had ever told her anything was wrong.
She just said, I'm not sure. Let me check and follow up. In front of the client.
Because?
Because Great Start never taught her a single thing to check.
What did you actually do after that meeting once you knew?
Went and found her.
And said what exactly?
The real thing. Chart, labels, the fix. 20 seconds, out loud, no receipt language this time.
I bet that landed differently than Great Start ever did.
She said she'd rather know now than keep guessing and find out the hard way later. Every time she said,
1 specific sentence, 3 days earlier, and none of that happens.
That's the whole thing. Nice isn't feedback. Specific is.
Next week, a different kind of nerves, standing up in front of a room and presenting in a language that isn't your first one.
That one's for anyone who's ever gone blank 3 slides into their own presentation.
This is Ryan.
And this is Sarah.
And you've been listening to Work Fluent.
See you next time.